Hi everyone online. Thanks everybody here for attending this webinar. I'm here in Brazil at Almap Video with Rapha Vasconcellos, the Global Creative Director from Facebook. He will share some great thoughts with us. So please welcome and go ahead.
Okay, good morning. We are just speaking English in Brazil, but it's fine. Hi everyone. The reason I don't have a presentation is because I don't think that you guys need to know a lot of new stuff. You guys know niche, so it's not about presenting a point of view. Basically, I'm in Brazil for a few meetings, and they invited me to have this chat. So basically, we can do like a conversation. It's okay for you guys. I think that's more productive. That's the kind of way I've been working nowadays with some clients and agencies globally. I asked for a few questions just to set some of the tone of the conversation, but we can take this any direction you guys want. I have a few pieces of work. If for some reason this is something that might be an example to show a bigger point, but I have a few minutes, hours, I'd say. So as long as it's useful, just let me know. So just an update and an introduction. I've been with Facebook for 7 years, almost 7 years now. I started here in Brazil, in São Paulo. I was running Agência Click, so the guys here from Brazil probably know. So I was running Agência Click for a few years, and I moved to Facebook. 1 year ago, I moved to Singapore to lead Creative Shop, which is the creative team for Facebook for Asia. And now I'm moving to New York to run Creative Shop globally. So we are now around 300 people, 300 creatives. And some of the work that I've selected here are the pieces of work that my team and I have been doing in Asia in Japan, in India, in Thailand. So different things that probably you guys haven't heard. So it might be a way to get away from the usual suspects of content of Facebook and Instagram. Okay. So, look, do you guys want to set up a question or a topic for this conversation? What is the main pain point or the main questions regarding whatever?
I have a question. I think we can
please,
start.
And by the way, please, hard questions.
Okay.
Don't be polite. I was doing a talk like this with a client in India a month ago, and they started inviting people, and suddenly there were like 200 people in the room with a client and a few agencies.
Difficult to understand the accent?
No, pretty decent English. But like 2 hours of questions. So after 2 hours of really hard questions, look, I think I can handle a few hard questions from you guys. But the reason I say we talk about hard questions is just for this meeting to get some value. Again, I don't need to come here and talk about the basic US stuff. So.
Do you see any kind of difference between the ways of working and also the deliveries in terms of content and campaigns or so on among the different countries that
the different countries? Yeah.
Brazil, mainly Brazil, Latin America countries, and Asia now, and the US.
I think it's very different. I would say that even, and again, I'm going to be talking every time I talk about generally about work. I will be talking about Facebook and Instagram and Messenger and WhatsApp, which are the things that I spend most of my time. So of course I'm on YouTube and do on Twitter. I do all this stuff personally, but I think my point of view is more valuable on our platform. So to your point, on our platforms, it's very different because the behavior of people on our platforms totally different country by country. So I have a piece of work from India here, for example. In India, not sure if you guys know, but data is free nowadays. You don't need to pay for data. So there's this, and of course it's lower bandwidth, but everyone gets on the internet. So we're talking about millions of people. And WhatsApp is and Instagram is a hit in India, which is Facebook. We are very strong in India, but the notion that you consume really fast and really short in India is different than in Japan, which people really appreciate the craft. For example, Instagram is huge in Japan. In Indonesia, Messenger is huge. In Australia, it's Facebook. So it varies by country because our platform and people behave very different, either because of the infrastructure or how they see the usage of our products. And then ideas, campaigns, they are very different. So in Thailand and in Korea, two of markets that I work nowadays, there's a huge conversation about long form video. People are used to watch 5-6 minute video on their phones. And you don't get that in other markets in Asia or even in the US or in Europe, for example.
In Brazil, it's hard to see that.
In markets like Brazil, for example. So I know that in Brazil, short form content it's a huge part of the media or the way we do campaigns and content, but also people go to YouTube. Their television is super strong in Brazil, like in Thailand and in India. So that's why one of the questions that you sent me, which was related to what we consider bad practices or good practices. I think the best practice is a bad practice. The fact that there's a rule and there's a one way of doing content on our platforms, I think it's a bad advice. I think the best advice is testing and learning. So that's the one thing that we've been doing a lot lately. Nowadays, I would say that the campaigns that we work by ourselves or with agencies, it's common practice to run 3 different ideas under the same campaign for a few hours. You run on the platform, you see how people behave, you see how the brand metrics perform, you take the campaigns after 1 or 2 hours, you take it away, and then you run the best one. So the notion that we don't present a campaign with one idea. I'm not talking about many executions, I'm talking about 3 different stories under the same strategy, because we start from the assumption that I don't know what's going to happen. And that's, for me, nowadays, the best practice. Of course, there is implication on production, on timing, and we try to fix that. But we've learned nowadays that the best approach is to put an idea on our platforms without thinking that you know what's going to happen, because you're going to get surprised all the time. Maybe you get surprised by the reaction, maybe you get surprised by the length of the content. So there's a campaign that we just launched in Korea for LG. Actually, we built in Korea, and it's launching in Mexico. It's a global campaign that we're working for them. And long form performs better than short form.
Yeah, sometimes the clients expect from us to define what's the best length of the video.
There's no best length of video. If you ask me what is the best length, I don't have this answer. That's why I don't put a presentation, because the presentation that I do today is going to be so much different than the one I did 6 months ago or even a year ago. I'd rather tell you some experiences and some projects and the things that we're doing nowadays. But there's no
from your team, from Facebook, not your team exactly, but from client service Facebook, they tell these kind of things for our clients. So they tell, and they come to us and say, oh, Facebook told me you should always put a piece of work that has at least less 30 seconds or something like this. Or
you put your brand on the first 3 seconds.
Yeah, the first 3 seconds.
Right?
But I can go on that account here. And they have like a lot of best practices they use with you, Facebook. And now we need to submit this piece of work for you to approve or not. But it's really subjective.
Subjective.
Yeah, subjective. So we don't know if it's going to be approved or not, and it's based on someone's idea of what's best practice or not.
No.
And everyone has, for the brands, every brand has the same piece of work because everyone follows the same rule.
Yeah. No,
so someone is telling our clients a lot of other things that you're saying.
what you need to understand is that clients come from the the, the expectation to get the best out of their budget, of their money, right? So what they're looking is for a safety net. Right? They're looking for something that, can you guarantee me that my content will perform on the platform, right? And when we look back, and all of these best practices, I would say, they come from hundreds and thousands of campaigns, and you look back into the data, and you say, look, there's a common behavior, right? And you should expect, you should expect that a company like Facebook and a client like ADI, we look for this safety net of, I need some guarantees that I'm shifting my budget from other places that I feel more comfortable. So you need to prove that this thing needs to work, right?
Yes.
So the best practice is when we talk about the 3-second, the brain in the beginning, the short form video, the sound off. It's because it's a common behavior on the CLM platform, and these things are the common denominator, right? But for every one of those rules, there is an exception. I can tell you examples that will bring our own advice.
We have it here.
Right.
For example, the tática. We don't call it group. Or routine.
Yeah.
It was going really well, but I don't know how to break this rules. If you're saying it's important,
But I would expect that you guys break the rules. That's the rule of the agency.
but someone is approving the ideas. You have to submit. I mean,
So-
you said it really.
Yeah, and my point is, I think it's.
So I'm just.
And you should keep doing that, and you should keep showing to your client that Facebook is wrong, and that's fine, because you are the ones that hold the relationship, not us, right? My role is to look for the platform, and my role is to understand the platform. I need to come here and say, look, I've seen things, and these things are working, but I'm looking for again a generic point of view, so I can have answers to all of my clients. You are the one that's prepared to serve on that and say, by the way, we test these things from that Facebook is saying, and actually for your market, for your audience, for your brand, because of whatever, it seems that another strategy resonates better with your audience. So break our rules. I tell you all the time, prove me I'm wrong, it's fine, right? The best practice for me is the testing. That's why for us, what we're trying to do is when we build campaigns and we build with, again, leaving from start with 3 different ideas to see which one performs better, it's because we know that we don't know it. I do expect that you guys prove us wrong to prove you guys right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would say, on the other hand, when you tell me that our campaign for Antarctica, worked, what is the KPI that you're looking? And the KPI and what works for us is very different sometimes from what some agencies and even some clients think would work. A lot of clients are still locked into the like, comment, views, whatever. And we try to move this conversation to the brand impact or even the performance results that some clients are looking for, what we call the business results, right? That's the real conversation that we should be having. That matters much more than best practice. So keep proving us wrong. I welcome. I think you accept to prove us wrong, right? And what I believe is the best work will come by building work, not by building presentations, right? So when clients invite us and ask us to support a campaign, and they say, what should we do? I say, let's build something, and let's understand what happens on your platform. There's very low technical knowledge of our platform also on the other hand, right? So I'm not sure if you guys know, we have dozens of ad units, and some of them work better than others based on the business objectives of a campaign. I'm not sure if we talk that enough, right? Are we using the best pieces of ad on Facebook? Again, I'm going to show a few pieces of work here that even my team struggles with that, right? So it's very complex nowadays. These environments it's technically very complex. But if you understand what are the rules behind it, if you're open to test and learn, this platform has like amazing performance.
I think
I like a lot of questions. Yeah, this is a good question, right?
this is a tough one. You asked.
Yeah, please.
Here online, Vasconcellos, I think he's from the video Greece, said that still the views are based on a extremely small duration. This creates, in my opinion, false perceptions regarding a video reach and actual impact.
Mhm.
I think this is more regard to the metrics.
Yeah, viewability.
Yeah, KPIs and results.
Yeah, look, viewability is an issue. And then when we say brands should be making their impact in the first second, because we know that an environment like this, especially in a few markets, people don't have enough patience to watch a minute, 2-minute video on the platform. But on the other hand, we know that these few seconds of video, they build positive brand perception if you have the right content for the right people. More importantly, if you consider that a tool that we have nowadays called reach and frequency, sequential reach and frequency, you can control the sequence of messages to reach a certain audience. So you can build the impact on a campaign, not on a single asset. So I think that we come from this notion that a single asset is magical, right? I need to have that one piece of film that people will engage for 25 seconds. It's amazing. I need to crack that thing. Maybe not. Maybe you should have a collective of assets. Sometimes it's still images. So let me show you one example. When we built a campaign, so we were building this campaign for Uber in India. This was a collaboration with OGV in India, Mumbai. And this is just a simple presentation. I'm going to skip a few slides, but the overall idea is to help Uber increase frequency of rides. And again, everyone in India has Uber on their phones. The problem is not making people install the app; it's actually using the app. So the campaigns and the series of campaigns that we're doing with Uber is to create, excuses for people to call Uber, right? On this one specifically, we created this notion. We found excuses to get on Uber, but on very short rides. So usually in India, in most of the countries, people travel from home and work to airports, so long rides, and that's fine. Uber is fine over there. The hypothesis here is, can we drive people to short distance rides? So with this campaign, we decided to find groups of people with interest propositions for Uber. In this case, we ran a campaign to reach people at 5 p.m., invited them to watch the sunset. That's it. The way we did that was very short films, very short assets, but the assets were customized by different cities in India. Okay, so this one was in Mumbai, and we had the same for Chennai, Bangalore, Delhi, and very simple, saying, look, there is a place on your city that is beautiful to watch the sunset. Go there, just click here, book an Uber, right? And you see the book now. That's when I was talking about the right-hand units. It doesn't matter for Uber if I just build a film and people, oh, cool, if I cannot call Uber from Facebook, right? This is a very simple thing, but I realize that now everyone uses the right pieces of ads on Facebook. So, and that's fine, very short form video, right? We did the same thing here during lunchtime, and especially for people that love street food. So on Facebook, you can find those people. And we say, look, nearby, there's a market in Mumbai that you can have a nice street food today. Book an Uber, book life. That's the concept of the campaign. And we find different groups of folks. But the campaign was not only short form video, it was static images, stories, a collection of assets. It's not about one asset. It's not about that one video that will make the campaign work. It's giving Facebook, giving the platform this collection of assets. So the machine, the Facebook machine will give to the audience the best assets for the one that they are connecting, maybe based on the connectivity that they have, maybe on the device that they have. So we have many versions. So for some people, a carousel. That's the notion of more than an asset, like that video on YouTube that has 50 million views and you try to craft the perfect video, is like how I bring an idea in multiple assets, put on the platform and let the platform deliver the right asset, right? In this campaign, 5% incremental rides. You know what is to generate 5% of incremental rides in India for Uber with a collective of assets, right? It's a huge result. So that's one my point of sometimes we get caught up on the short form, the 3 second. And we need to understand that it's a reality of behavior in most of the countries, in most of the markets. But the notion that your idea can reach people in different forms or a collective of forms, it's how we deliver results for a client like this, right? If we did only the short form video, trying to find the right asset, I'm sure we wouldn't have reached the 5% incremental rate, right? So that might be reality in Greece, but in Thailand it's the opposite. In Thailand, in Korea, you need a single long form video because people are used to that. So we learned that by doing. This is like, I don't know, the 10th campaign in Uber, and then dozens of campaigns for the same segment in India. So we've learned that, and we keep applying the learning. So the way we work on Creative Shop, which is my organization, is every campaign should give back to the team a piece of learning. We only build campaigns because we need to learn to do the next one, and the next one, and the next one, right? And since we operate as a network, like video as you guys, the learnings from this campaign in Uber now are influencing the campaign in Uber in the US. Right? We send the assets to the US team. They're going to build from there. And then they're going to build something on top of that. So that's how we try to understand the nuances of behaviors of short form behaviors on the platform, for example. Right? But again, this is not a silver bullet. I'm not saying do this all the time. I'm saying this works in India for this segment. I would invite Greece and any country to run pieces on the platform, understand what's the behavior, and keep building on top of that. That's the notion of digital for me nowadays, right? I've been working with digital for a lot of years. In a moment, we built things and we didn't even care about the results, right? We don't even care how people perceived and reacted to the content we put up over there. I think we need to care more about what happens when you put a brand message out there, you learn, and you build it again. And you need to build a relationship with your client, and the client needs to understand that that's the dynamic of digital nowadays. It's not about the best practices. So.
Yes, hard question.
Please.
Considering Instagram is gaining more, not millennial, but young adult, I would say, and Facebook, like maybe Brazil have elections, and it's like a battle, it's a field of battle of opinions, of many things you want to say, you say on Facebook or WhatsApp. You give up your family group and stuff.
Yeah.
But how, as a creative, how do you believe you can maintain the Facebook a young platform, like with young content, as you have Instagram, like in Brazil, growing faster and with many different brands, different content, not only pictures, but video as well. So how do you manage to, because now you have Instagram like getting some.
No, the behavior that we see on the platform is not that Instagram is stealing on us from Facebook. People have behavior of juggling.
Yeah, when they perceive the platform.
Oh yeah, totally.
Considering brands like content. Why I'm gonna put investment on Facebook with I don't know, posts and videos, and not consider Instagram as 4 years ago.
Totally. I see your point. I would say make these decisions on where a client or you guys are going to put content on these platforms based on data, not based on perception. Because most of the time perceptions on our platforms are wrong. The notion that young people are leaving Facebook is wrong. The data shows us it's wrong. The perception, you can say, my kid my cousin, the son of my client, they don't use Facebook anymore.
Yeah.
I challenge that. That might be a reality. My point is, look for the data and make a decision on which platform you're going to use based on the data. The reason I'm saying that is Facebook is these platforms have different roles for us. Facebook is our main platform. We have 2.6 billion people on the platform. We keep growing. People keep using. Despite of everything that we hear on the news, on the media, Facebook keeps growing. But let me tell you one example. In Japan, Instagram is bigger than Facebook. And because of many different reasons, because of cultural reasons. Japanese people, for example, they don't feel comfortable sharing their names and their real identities. So Instagram is different than Facebook. For example, the fact that Facebook, you have your real identity, your name, your real name. On Instagram, you have your username, and it can be whoever you want.
No, but in the perspective of creative,
So
also in the agency, when you were talking about, let's think about an digital or
totally.
social net idea. Oh, Facebook. Why not Instagram?
But that's my point. My point is, if I look at the data, they're saying that a campaign in Japan should be Instagram first. Okay. My point is, it's the same for a campaign in Brazil when you're trying to decide which platform. The decision is not if you as a creative you like one or another best. The decision should be, I have this problem for Uber. Where are the people that I need to talk? Are these people on Instagram? Go from Instagram. And if you feel, if the data is telling you that based on your past experience and on the people that you want to reach, that you're going to perform better on Instagram, go full on Instagram. But again, do it, get the results back. I would run one campaign only on Instagram. I would run the same campaign for a client in a different time with a different strategy on Facebook, and I would compare them, right? And start making your own rules for each one of your clients, for each one of the others that you really avoid the perception game.
And
test every time.
One platform, then you can test
all the time. So I don't know how many of you work with digital here on Omaki, or even on the video group, but start building knowledge across your clients and group this knowledge based out of industries, right? All the CPG, doesn't matter if it's beer or another, I don't know, Guaraná or whatever it is, whatever brand you guys work nowadays, build a knowledge based on that industry. If you guys work with auto, build a knowledge on that industry, right? And share knowledge among you guys, right? And don't fall for the perception game, because it's hard. Things happen on this platform that you're surprised all the time. My team was doing a campaign yesterday for a client. It's a e-commerce client in, I think, in Indonesia. They went there to shoot a campaign. The client wanted to do a Facebook Live. They've been doing lives forever, 5,000 people online. And we challenged a few perceptions. So yesterday they had for the first time 65,000 people online. They had 5,065 and they sold out in a few minutes. And the client thought that live didn't work for them. I said, can we test a different approach? And we made it happen, right? So the testing, the knowledge, the approach that you don't know everything that happens here, because things here change all the time. It's the way to do digital, in my opinion, right? But it's very hard because we have processes that change very slowly on agencies or clients, or I still hear people talking about the best practices that we used to talk 4 years ago, right? And I think it's hard, right?
And also for the clients, like a brand manager, a marketing director, I would invest in this. Hi people, the test wasn't so good, so let's start everything again.
Yeah.
In Brazil.
Look, failure. We have so many campaigns that fail.
Like global brands.
I know. I work with some of them, and the media I was mentioning in India was with the global brand. It was really hard, but they're, at the same time they understand when you present a piece of evidence or a proposal, right? So I think that the best thing you guys do as an agency, as a creative team, is ask what each campaign, what they do for you guys, not only for your clients. What are you guys learning with each campaign that you guys are doing? Every campaign for us has a hidden hypothesis. We want to test if Canvas with video works. We always have questions in every campaign that we do. We do this year almost 2,000 campaigns in my team in Asia. A lot of campaigns. If every one of these campaigns have a different question, it's 2,000 different answers that we're going to get, right? To make it better than the next one. I don't know if you guys have this practice, but I really encourage you to share, put a campaign online, come back to this group, to this team, share the learnings, and people keep building on top of that. In a few months, you guys are going to be dominating and even giving us the best practices, right? There are agencies that gives us the best practice. And it becomes a dialogue, which is much more interesting on our relationship rather than do a short form video, put your logo in front, take the sound off, and everything's going to happen. No, not ours.
Can we show other cases?
Sure. Is this useful?
Yes.
This one?
Yes, very useful for the creative.
I have a question.
Yes, please.
Well, my English is not the best English.
You're in Portuguese, all right. Translate for the audience.
My Portuguese is not that good, but
Okay. Yes.
Here in Almaty, especially, we work in creative teams. Our history here. And as a creative team, we have some awards. Not the point of view of all award, but you have joy to do something special when you have to always challenge yourself to get the best in this way. And you just when you visit Facebook here, and the guy shows us the no sound movie video with the logo in the front. You have 9 seconds.
The best practice.
The best practice. Kill all the motivation for a lot of brilliant guys who are here in the other ages to present a work like this. We present weeks ago on here and Fire of the Sunset Point. Because first of all, we don't know about this. They don't think about like this. They think about only the traditional way and the digital way, but the digital way, the objective is to change the traditional way. You try to replicate the old stuff in a digital. So you don't have to the 30-second TV spot, but you need a 45 or 60-second. No, it's the same. It's not the same. You know about this. People here know about this, but the great team have some problems to understand this because they don't believe. Because this is it's emotional. They care too much from the work. They try to craft a lot.
Yeah.
Then the limit the tools you can use, they kill the vibe. This is the most important thing. The guy not motivated to do this stuff. They're gonna be the worst ways possible.
Yeah.
And I think the accounting team knows this better than I have this,
Yeah.
How Facebook.
First,
Yes, I know. No, I know because your person is worse for it. But how Facebook and other media outlets can improve this sentimental, this vibe to a new guy who have a lot of energy and to encourage this guy to create brilliant stuff in different ways.
Look, I'm not sure if it's my job to change this vibe. I can tell you that there are a lot of people out there with a good vibe thinking about Facebook and Instagram, right? And I've seen brilliant work on the platform. We need to understand that times have changed, and we'll keep changing, right? You mentioned the word craft. I think that there's no great word on Facebook without craft. But I think that people should be self-motivated. I don't think that I will ever come here and be able to motivate these things. I don't expect to do that.
But Rapha,
You understand my point?
I understand perfectly.
So what people need to understand is that these are facts. And look, this is a piece of ad. I was checking here, 6 seconds. This Uber ad for 6 seconds. There's tons of these I built internally on my team using Image Bank. Okay, because the client said that they didn't have money. So I put my designer to work on these animations of you see the water moving over there, right? Very simple animation, so we care about the craft, we care about the top line.
I know about honesty, I know exactly.
So my point is, people should be self-motivated, and it should be enough. People are saying you should be motivated based on the fact that people are moving to this platform. The time and attention that people are giving to these platforms, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, whatever platform it is, it should be enough that people say, look, something is happening in the world. I need to understand this behavior to keep doing my craft. If people only have eyes for their own craft, right? I want to build this campaign, I need to work with very specific photographer, I'm going to pay millions of dollars in that production. I need 6 months to come up with this. Man, sorry. Good luck in finding a place that will give you attention for your craft. The reality is that behavior outside is changing. These products change not because we care, not because we care, not because we want. Our products, they change because we see behaviors on the platform, and we understand that we need to give something back for 2.6 billion people. I think that we on advertising, we should be ahead of these changes. And sometimes we are behind because we care so much about our own craft. I think that we need to adapt our craft. And I think that people are, and there are tons of people out there, and probably you guys are adapting your craft to this environment, right? So keep doing that, because that's not the future, that's the present of advertising around this. Right?
we are talking about the craft and all this stuff, but for us creatives, when we saw a campaign like that for Uber, you are talking about the numbers and the conversion.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
But in a long term for the brand, if you are more creative in your campaign, you build a stronger brand.
Totally.
It's that right?
Totally. The data shows that.
Yeah.
Okay?
So,
and again, I work on a company that data wins arguments. So that we have these posters on Facebook.
Yeah.
Probably you guys have been at the office and you see that.
Yeah.
The one that I like most, data wins arguments.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm always going to bring the data to the table, and data says that you were right.
So when we talk to take this shortcut to solve a campaign or a problem, like we will work with image bank and all the stuff, but in a long term for the brand, it's a hard thing to build, because clients want to have a cheaper campaign.
I don't agree with you. Let me show you the campaign that came after. Okay. Same client, Uber, sorry to interrupt you, but just to make the point, same client, after the campaign, I just showed you, they said, oh, I get it. It's possible to increase the rise, because that's what clients care. They don't care about the brand lift, they care about the incremental rise, right? Yeah. So they say, what can you guys do if I give you a small production budget? Say, okay, let's build something. Because of that campaign that we did with Image Bank, right? Yeah. I paid the assets with my credit card. It was so very cheap. Okay? My limit on a credit card is not that high. But the client understood that if you invest in craft, there's a correlation between performance or results, rather than performance in terms of views and clicks or whatever. So they said, build something for us. So the next campaign was a campaign, so that campaign became the always on campaign for Uber in India. So that campaign is running until today and generating tons of rights for them, right? On top of that, they said, let's invest in something a little bit higher craft, right? So they said, look, can we do something about the competition of Uber in India? The competition is all the tuk-tukis, all the different crazy ways of commuting in India, right? So we created longer because then we're trying to prove the point that a little bit longer work. So we had our own hypothesis. Look that there's a book now here because I'm not building brand for Uber, I'm trying to generate rights, right? And we not only invested on a craft on this story of people begging to be taken by the taxis in India, we did the same in stores. So same production, right? But you try to do this interactive thing that you try to pause the moment the taxi driver says yes, which is hard, right? And we built tons of assets. Very Indian, so we hired a Bollywood production company in India to build this thing. So we played with the Hyperloop, very simple assets. Again, this is not award-winning. I don't care about this. I care about implementing the rights for you, right? So we have tons of assets. Again, it's something that I will never be able to catch the beer. Tons of assets. Again, the same learning. I need to generate tons of assets, otherwise you actually not work over in India. But I can increase the quality of the assets. In this case, we hire a production company and we paid production. I expect that next one they're going to give us more budget.
How are the results?
Results: 70,000 rides in 7 days. Cost per ride less than $1. Cost per trip 9 cents. Return on ad spend $7 per ad spend on Facebook and Instagram. Amazing results, right? Again, we don't work if the conversation is not about business, but we believe that creative work drives business, right? And craft drives business. But it's a journey, right? I need to take them from the image bank to the simple production, and now I'm going to the more complex production, and then I'm going for 100% only Facebook production, right? It's a journey. I'm going to respect their time, the time that they need to adjust their processes, but it's a conversation I need to put on top of the last campaign. It's possible, and this is not only with Uber. There are other clients that are on the same journey. So I was talking with a few clients that they asked me, what is this journey? So I built this thing. I'm never sure this to anyone, but yeah, I can show it to you guys probably. This is what I'm calling a creative journey, which is I think that clients, they have creative roadblocks, right? Sometimes they get stuck into questions of creative doesn't work. So what we're trying to do is to create this journey where I try to take my clients, right? So just a simple explanation. I want the clients over here building creative. So one of the questions is, what should we be building for clients? I think that the real opportunity for Facebook and Instagram and all the digital platforms is what we are calling nowadays community-first creative, or ideas that works around community, right? Which is a very interesting concept. I have a few examples if you guys are interested here. But of course, I want to take clients here. We are designing specific hacks to build. We have a specific narrative for community. And again, this is something that we can share with you guys in the next video. But most of the clients are here. They're still optimizing their assets. They're still paying for TVCs. And we are doing the short form, whatever. It's really hard if we try to bring these clients all the way over here. So what I'm trying to do with my clients, and every client that we touch, is to move them one step at a time. So it seems, again, this is not a theory, this is we trying to understand what's behind this. But Uber was like this. You can say that the Uber campaign, the first one that I showed to you guys, was something around here. We are after optimization. They were okay in building what we are calling spin-off ideas. So you have an amazing concept for a TV film. Build a spin-off concept that only runs on Facebook or Instagram or whatever platform that you want. The client will get interested in that. Then you build original first ideas, short production. That's what we call made for mobile. We have a whole production process that produces assets under $20,000 in 25 days. Very fast. I'm I'm not producing assets in 2 days. I'm not producing assets in 1 week, even if my clients ask. There's some need of time to craft an asset, right? But only after that, I will pitch an original community idea for them. And it seems to resonate with some clients nowadays, that we go slowly, one step at a time. I would say that most of our clients, they are still here. And I'm going to give them the time. But there are clients that are all the way over here.
You have some examples?
Yeah, so let me show you one example of this last one. A campaign that we did for P&G. Very hard client, right? I don't have results because they don't allow us to share results, okay? Business results. But I have a few. You guys gonna see what's good with the results. Yeah, amazing. So they asked us to help the launch of a new version of Pantene in Thailand. So think about this. Thailand is a country that people, the best advertising in the world, in my opinion, nowadays, long form, right? And when we were talking to the client, they said, we want to work with millennials or youngsters or whatever. And we try to understand what is, beyond the product, what is a cause that matters for these people that also have a natural connection with the brand or with the product, right? So we realized that transgenders in Thailand, which is an important community of the country, right? Transgender are really accepted in Thailand. And we realized that the product, so when people accept themselves as transgender, the hair is their first expression of their identity. And again, if you, hair and shampoo, very simple to connect, right? So we start talking with the client and really trying to understand if they really want to engage with this community. Again, not a target audience, we're not just targeting transgenders, we are really, do you want to support the cause of if there's something wrong? So we built this idea, which was a campaign all done by transgenders. From the film director, from the screenwriters, from the actors, all about transgender, right? So you see here all transgenders that are well-known in Thailand, and they built a campaign. Again, it was not us saying, here's a script, a film that talks about the hurdles and how hard it is, right? And we invited them, and we said, look, we're giving you the brand as your platform to say whatever you want. And they crafted this campaign. So she's a transgender, super successful model in Thailand. And then you have the film director. So basically, we told the community we'll do the campaign. This is not a single social campaign. This is the above the line campaign for Pantene, P&G, massive. This is not an additional something from the sides, right? No, all the money of the campaign went here to launch this new product in Thailand. Again, short form videos. So you see the stories that we interact with new parts. So we shot this, very low money, right? Because we understand that the client was on the journey, but they had something to give back to the community, right? It was really natural for Pantene to adopt this cause and talk to this community. So we produce tons of assets because we learned that tons of assets work on the platform. So a few of them short, a few of them longer. Okay. You see the brand in the beginning, all the best practices here. When we say who the supers, so you don't rely only on audio. So you see the best practices over here. Again, we build on top of the best practices. So we do these things. There are very short versions of the assets, that are interactive forms of the assets, that are immersive forms of the assets. This is another, do you guys know this framework, the 70-20-10 that we call? Yeah. So again, we're using this like natural, this is baseline, right? But we need a bigger idea. You need a nice production. And then we have these numbers. That's the only number that PG allows us to share. But you see 6 million views on Facebook, not bad for a country like Thailand, right? Shared tons of times, trending top on Twitter, 10 million views on YouTube, a campaign viewed on Facebook, okay? The most interesting thing the quality of the comments, people saying, wow, I felt inspired by the brand, because again, the sentiment of community is really strong on the platform, and very few brands really gives back to a community. You see people like, I'm a 13-year-old transgender, I've been in situations like this, I resonate with this campaign. You see the quality of the comments, it's like mind-blowing. Tons of press. The most interesting thing is the client. The transgender became the official ambassador for the brand. Go in Pantene Thailand page right now, she's the cover page. And then because of that, Philippines are doing the same thing. So again, this is a brand being true to themselves, but also giving back to a community that it's real in Thailand. They had something to share. They didn't come with their own point of view. They invited the community to be part of the message and the conversation. And you don't think that this is a P&G campaign, because P&G has tons of guidelines and short. We face the guidelines at the same time. But right now, a campaign like this, it starts to break the own best practices that we, some time ago, we went there and we said, look, we should do this, this, and that, right? And the relationship with P&G in Asia started to change because of this campaign, right? This was like 3 weeks ago.
So, sorry about my skepticism, but really diversity, right? That's 100% possible to have a diversity profession.
You mean the transgender?
Yeah.
Oh, totally.
But how can you guys help us to tell the client that you're not the next MySpace? Because
So they really ask?
no. Data says that the US and the UK, you guys reach the big half of users now, and I'm guessing, well, media says, and I'm guessing that such as in the US and UK, Brazil is still growing, but eventually it will stop growing. The number of users, and eventually, okay, no one else to enter Facebook because they have to be born and turn into 18, so and stuff like that, and have time, and Instagram is coming. So, and of course we have our own MySpace experience, which is part of social media, but it still works in a different way. It's like Facebook, but still social media. I'm guessing, only my truth, that Facebook eventually will become like magazine, like newspaper. That is like a must do. I must do, but it's not the next cool thing. So how can we help you, or you help us tell the client? So Facebook is not. It's still cool. It's still hype, because the impression here now, and that's my truth. The impression here now is that Facebook is boring. My mom is there, my dad is there, my grandma is there. So I'm young, I'm going to Instagram, but now my dad is there. I'm going back to Snapchat. I'm going to Fly, which is so. Wow. There's another one. I don't know if I think it's like Fly, Love. I don't know how to spell, but you're only able to have 150 friends. Okay. So. How to explain? How to, more than just data, how can we help you guys, and how can we help you guys not to die?
Thanks for caring about us. Look, I don't want to sound mean or arrogant or whatever, but look, the data says that in some markets, growth is slowing. Not that we are dying. Growth is slowing. The growth is still there. If you compare the two last Facebook numbers, we keep growing. Okay? And it's really hard to grow on a platform that is already 2.6 billion people, right? That makes sense. But I will go back to your own point, which you just started by saying, oh, that campaign, this is Brazil, and the transgender doesn't work here. I'll say the same. Why do you care so much about the US or the UK? We still really
the client will
But my point is, I would say, I'm not sure if you guys do global campaigns, but if you're building campaigns for Brazil, focus on Brazil, right? The data says that we still grow. The data might say that maybe your audience is on Instagram, go for Instagram. We have no interest in being hype, okay? That's not what we care. We care about, again, different platforms have different purposes for us. Facebook for us is the place where you can be your own self. That it's a utility service that you connect with people that matters for you. And we want to give you the power to build community, to find people around. How many of you guys use Facebook groups? Real groups, right? That you, maybe moms, maybe friends, right? I use for sneakers, I use for bulldogs, I use for Brazilians that live in Singapore. And I use Facebook nowadays for these things. That's what matters for me. I use Instagram totally different. Instagram is the place for us to connect with the topics and people that inspires us, that we have a creative point of view in life, right? That's what Instagram is about. Messenger is about the utility of connecting. WhatsApp is the utility. It's the right reliability of connection, right? When everything doesn't work on connectivity, the first place you go, WhatsApp, right? So different platforms have different purposes. None of them are hype for us. If people want to build hype on top of Instagram, fine, right? Because maybe some kids are hyper than others. But we want to give people the power to express themselves. And the reason I'm telling you this is I believe, so look at this campaign for planting. More than a transgender, this is about identity, right? It's about the brand saying, we support you expressing yourself truthfully. This is a campaign for Facebook, because that's what Facebook is about. What happened, I'm not sure if I have the slides in here, but after that campaign, you know what we did? We met with 12 NGOs, transgender NGOs in Thailand, to help them build better content to express themselves. We give training. Because it's the real caring. The caring was about if we really care, and they had an issue in expressing themselves. We want also not only to put a brand over there to support their message, but we face my team, Creative Shop, train 12 NGOs that will train transgender to build better content. So when they tell their stories, people care more. It's the craft back to it, right? My point is, I believe that brands can jump into one of these buckets. What your brand has to give back is a utility. Use Messenger, don't use Facebook, right? If you are an airline and you care more about telling you that your flight is delayed than building your next campaign saying how cool it is to connect on Wi-Fi on a flight. If you really want to connect with people, giving them a service saying your flight is delayed, use WhatsApp. So my point is, what we're going to offer you guys as a company, as a platform, is all of these options. So you can translate what matters for your brands to the people that use our services, right? It's not about the hype. We don't care about the hype. We can't care about the hype. Otherwise, we're going to die like Oracles, right? Or what, MySpace. So we're trying to take meaning out of these platforms. I think that we're doing a pretty good job when you look at the experience that people have on the platform. I think that sometimes when Facebook is portrayed by the media, the trade, or whatever, you might feel, yeah, I'm not sure if Facebook is cool. If I'm going to put my next campaign, my suggestion, test it out, give it a try. I think that every time you give it a try, with an idea like this, or with a test like this, we've been positively surprised, honestly. And I'm very bullish in not becoming someone inside Facebook that thinks everything is perfect. I challenge Facebook all the time with these ideas, right? When people say Facebook is only about short-form video, I showed the campaign from Korea. I'm presenting this campaign. I'm in Brazil for this leadership global meeting, and I'm going to tell them, and I'm going to share this campaign, which is a campaign that was successful because of the long-form ads that we did for them. But look at this. This is the first campaign that we build a long-form video. You see the long-form video here. It's a museum about when people don't know how to wash their clothes, and when you mix like a sock with a sweater and then you ruin your clothes, right? But look at how the campaign ends. It's a long-form video. Where's the place that I'm taking people? Messenger. Okay, I don't want just people to watch this film. I want them to go into the messenger. And what is the claim of the campaign? Tell me your problems. What problems have you had by washing clothes? Oh, I put my wedding dress over there, and 2 days before the wedding, the dress became yellow, right? And you think, no, people don't have these stories. People will not interact with a campaign like this. Let me tell you one thing. So we ask people to open a messenger and tell their stories, okay? Just a simple dialogue. Of course, then on the messenger, you could test if the washing machine could fit into your home, because there was a problem. The machine is so big that people didn't feel comfortable in buying them on the store, so we use messenger so you could test using AR. So AR was not to be with hype, was to be with utility, because a messenger is utility, right? We had 26,000 stories. 26,000 people felt comfortable talking with a bot on Messenger and say, you know what? Once upon a time, I had this dress and they're talking with a machine. Yeah, but people really check this. It was a bot. But we didn't say talk with the bot. We just say, look, you have a story. There's a community of people here that want to hear your story. Maybe you're going to learn from them, right? And this is just Mexico. And then we're going to roll this campaign in 9 different markets. We create this in Korea, right? But my point is, I don't want to be hype. I want people to tell their stories of, destroying their clothes on one because they don't have the right washing machine, right? It's possible. If you avoid, I think you should avoid the hype all the time. Don't fall for the hype.
For those ideas that you showed us was from Facebook or from the agency, and then you get together and
most of the ideas that we do is with agencies. So agencies sometimes, and again, what I tell agencies is that how would you feel comfortable if my team is on a room with you guys? There are agencies that feel very, so BBH, we did this campaign for BBH for IKEA in Singapore. And BBH, we were building this amazing relationship that BBH invites us in the beginning of campaigns. Because we've been building this with them, and they feel very comfortable. There are agencies that say, look, I don't care about Facebook. My client is asking me to put Facebook in this campaign. Can you guys take care of this, please? Okay, no problem. So we built this campaign for Fanta in Thailand, which the agency said, look, I don't care. Do something. And we did something, and we added based on the script for TV, the campaign. My point is, it doesn't matter. I have zero personal agenda in terms of creative. My agenda is proving that great ideas can thrive on these platforms, right? And hopefully, if I work with that same agency more than once, they're gonna care and do their own ideas, and I'm fine with that, right? But my role and the role of my team is, how can we be useful on the journey with your clients and understand that there is value that can be created on these platforms? It's beyond the short form video. It's beyond. But again, look at the campaign for this campaign that ended on Messenger. A lot of short form videos. Again, to activate because people care about short form videos on the platform, right? But then I retarget them with the long form videos, right? 6 months to pull off a campaign like this. So not 2 weeks. 6 months of finding the right target, to find the right production, to do the right target, the right cast. So, but it's a journey, right? We didn't sell this one day to another. A lot of testing and learning and making sure that the idea was front and center, not the best practice, the idea, right? So far, I think that we roll out this campaign this week in Europe. Let's see how it performs. But like this is for me mind blowing. I didn't know if people would really connect with a piece of ad and tell their stories that their dress was destroyed one day, right? And it seems that they care.
I know you have time, so I have just one more question here.
Yeah. The live stream.
Yeah, and the same guy called Vasconcellos.
Greece.
Yeah, no, he's not from Greece.
No,
I said it wrong.
Okay,
Sorry
so
about
not
that.
my
He's
fault.
from Cyprus.
Okay,
My fault.
awesome.
So he said that last week we've launched a new campaign for Johnny Walker in Cyprus. By the way, I'm from Telia E5 BBDO.
Okay.
And we were asked by Diageo to put all the assets on one ad campaign with a budget for all of the materials and not divide the budget for each material. Thus, letting Facebook decide what assets work better and advise them more than others. What is your opinion for that practice? As it's something we haven't recommended yet to other clients.
Look, I'm not sure when they say that Facebook was choosing the assets, Facebook people or Facebook system, if he can come back. Because again, sometimes when you put the assets, you don't control
the platform in terms of programmatic and so on.
The platform will deliver the assets that performs better in terms of retention and attention, right?
Correct.
So I don't know what he means by that. But my point is, it's worth testing that and comparing if the norm that he has is, in the past we've been working in different ways or people were selecting a few pieces of ads, then you run this thing, look at the data. If the new way doesn't work, don't do it again, or do it in 6 months and test it again. My point is, don't fall for the best practice. Build your own best practice by building more, right?
Great.
One more question. How about Facebook will dealing about the new law GDPR and LGPD in Brazil?
Look, I'm not aware of the laws of
Something new.
GDPR in Brazil. I know the ones in Europe. And we're giving control back to people and make things more clear that they can delete the data, that they can restrict people that see the content. And people have embraced that, and we didn't have any backlash on the solutions that we're putting up front. And we didn't even use we didn't even roll out the new practices based on the law in Europe, only for Europe. This is the baseline for everyone in the world. So I don't think that if there's something, sorry, I'm not aware if there's a conversation like this in Brazil. If there is a conversation like this in Brazil, I don't think it's going to be a big deal.
Yes, there is a new law in Brazil, LGPD.
So look, there's a website. If you search, I think it's facebook.com/GDPR. If you go there, you're going to see everything that we did. Again, giving the controls front and center. We made the interfaces more simple. People have control of who they want to share information with, and what information we have from them. It's going to be the same in Brazil. And again, we didn't have our numbers of users in Europe didn't go down because of GDPR, so I don't see a problem. Yeah. But again, there's a whole website with everything that we did and everything that's happening. Every month when Facebook inform back the market all their numbers, we talk about the state of privacy and laws on Facebook. I encourage you guys to go to the Facebook website for investors. All the Facebook newsroom is another website. All this information is there. You know everything that we are doing on this source.
You don't think that this kind of law will impact on the platform?
I don't know what's going to happen in Europe. We didn't have a major issue in Europe, which was very restrictive, and people were really, I wouldn't say scared, but people were interested to see how that would affect Facebook. I really encourage you to read what were our plans for Europe, which became the norm globally. Okay.
Sorry if you have already talked about it, because I was late, like 20 minutes ago. I just want to know if you are already exploring WhatsApp for advertising. Yes, how are you?
So WhatsApp right now, I think Brazil is on the top priorities for WhatsApp. WhatsApp, it's a messaging platform, so we are the first thing that we did on WhatsApp is enabling companies and businesses to be verified and have an official profile on the platform, so people can basically transact with these businesses, big and small.
How do people find your company or the company? How the company will connect with these people?
They already have. We are already building on top of connections that already exist. The second step will be an API. I think that in Brazil we roll out the API. So again, a travel airline company could send you a status updates of your flight on WhatsApp, for example. And in the future rollout, it's going to be easier to find places, to find businesses on WhatsApp. Right now, WhatsApp is about messages. It's not about advertising. It's about service, because again, that's what people expect from WhatsApp. I think that in the future we're going to have more things. I don't know what is the current status in Brazil, but I would say let's go until the API. The most interesting thing is Brazil is one of the top priority markets for WhatsApp. So that every new thing that we release for WhatsApp for advertisers will come first to India, Brazil, Pakistan, a few markets. Again, there's a Facebook for Business / WhatsApp. You find everything that's available. And we have a WhatsApp team here in São Paulo. I think you guys should, if you are interested for your clients, I think you should connect with them.
Yeah. All the time that I asked the commercial team about WhatsApp, they say it's not available yet. It will be available sometime. We don't know anything about WhatsApp. It's completely separated from Facebook.
Yeah, WhatsApp is a different company, it's a different entity. But again, if you follow what's happening on WhatsApp globally, you're gonna see that we are slowly rolling out, because again, in Brazil, WhatsApp is number one platform, and we don't wanna disrupt the experience that people have with the platform. So, but still, there are a lot of opportunities for brands with WhatsApp.
Yeah, I thought about having influencers at WhatsApp.
I don't think it's the model.
No.
I don't think that will be influencer. Influencers is more related to Instagram than WhatsApp. Even Facebook, I think influencers will be a big thing for Instagram soon, because that's what you see on the platform. So more things will come next year. I've seen a lot of interesting things coming to our platforms for next year. I'm super excited, but we're gonna try to respect what these platforms means to people.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
As the things change very fast,
Very fast.
social networks.
Yeah.
What do you think of where do you believe that Facebook could be in 5 years? Like how
5 years.
the platform would be?
I think I have a slide on that. Let me see. Let me show you this slide.
No, that's why I'm asking, because maybe can work with
This is a great question. What about the ages?
Yeah, what about the ages?
Wow,
I'm waiting for
Please.
his answer to ask that.
please don't have questions on the role of agents. Agencies are crucial for Facebook and for brands.
The name means that you are an agent of a brand, of a client, or the other
So,
players.
look, my personal, you can stop recording because I don't really understand the question, but I think that what's going to happen is that the agent, right, the role that used to be the service that you were intermediating media buying, I think you're going to be intermediating strategy and creative thinking. More than the content, the thinking, right? I think agencies will be around, but we need to understand that there are much more opportunities beyond just building a film, a campaign, and ideas, right? The whole notion of how to navigate with how complex the media environment is the real opportunity for you guys. That's not my business. That's not what Facebook is about. I'm going to try to create more opportunities for brands. I don't know where it's I had a slide on this, so sorry that I created an expectation. But basically what I would say, this is less folder, that's not here, sorry. In 5 years, Facebook as the blue app, as we call it, will be around. I think that all the services will be around. You're gonna have new things on top of it, right? So have you guys heard about Marketplace? Have you heard of Facebook Dating, Facebook Jobs? Have you heard about dating? So Facebook is building a dating app, right? because we see a lot of people on the platform daily, right? So we're going to give it our own way. Then we go to the emerging platforms nowadays. Actually, these are all emerging platforms for us. So there are consolidated platforms, Facebook, Instagram. Messenger is already a emerging platform, emerging technology. And then you go all the way, I think in 5 years, virtual reality will be natural. I think AR next year. We're doing a lot of stuff in AR. You know, we play about these masks, but man, this is just the beginning of what you can do. We've built something with the Mill. You guys know the Mill, of course. You probably work with the Mill. We built a campaign from Nike sneakers on Messenger with AR with the Mill. Beautiful work. I think AR is going to be so trivial in 5 years. So trivial. VR is going to be a thing. I think the platform will be something that we're going to need to care because there will be enough devices and people interested in this. I think the state of connectivity will be totally different. I think that what we call television in 5 years is going to be different, and I think Facebook will be there. Again, new things will come. It's going to be more complex. These app, I would say that Facebook will be a different app, totally different than what we have today. So in 3 years ago, we didn't expect stories on Instagram. Stories right now. You know that on the status on WhatsApp is the biggest story platform globally? Bigger than Snapchat, bigger than Instagram, bigger than Facebook. Status on WhatsApp. Again, you never would predict that 1 year ago, 2 years ago. So 5 years, it's really hard to predict, but we are investing in new platforms. That's what we're trying to do and making and changing the ones that we have so they are still relevant.
We believe that the streaming will be part of this platform. Streaming
already.
like Facebook version of Netflix.
Oh, we have Facebook Watch.
Yeah, no, but
Facebook Watch in Thailand is bigger than the US. Facebook Watch in Asia is already bigger than the US. Brazil is getting traction because Watch now is a global platform. I think they Watch in 5 years. Oh my God! I think that we got we're buying some. I don't know. There are some pieces of information. I don't know if it's public or not. But you know, we have like we're streaming sports and we are pitching for soccer rights on Facebook. I think that the experience of watching things with your friends, the real social thing that we as agencies and digital teams we used to build for one client a few years ago, Facebook will try to build for 2.6 million people, and that will become a thing. It's going to be very interesting. And again, not only advocating for the Facebook part of it, I'm saying these new platforms will bring things that people will embrace, and it's going to be an amazing opportunity for brands, and therefore agencies should know about this thing and try to address them. But address them in a way that it becomes relevant for people and not for the creators. I think the creators should step back and behind the scene. I think we're too much, people care too much in being out there. It's amazing to be out there, but our real value is when the creators, when the agencies, creative agencies, we are a little bit not so much in the public front. Brands should be in the public front. Brands should be out there. Ideas should be out there, not us. I think we care too much about ourselves. So, look, we've done almost 2,000 pieces of work in Asia this year. 2,000 pieces of work. My team is 45 people. 45 people. All over Asia. China, Japan, India, Australia, Southeast Asia, Korea, gaming, which is huge in China. 45 people. We don't need a lot, but we need bigger ideas. And these are the first ideas, the first projects that we build next year. Super interesting. So opportunities are out there. I think the spirit is the testing and learning, and don't fall for the best practices. Don't fall for the hype, the cool kids. Be cool by building work that works and high craft, and it's gonna be great, I think.
That's it.
Sound good?
Yeah.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you very much for having me.
Morning.
Yeah. Thank you.
See you next week.